I think I'm not alone in saying that I thought Square Enix was getting smarter, especially considering their upcoming releases. I guess I was wrong. Adam Sullivan, Square Enix America's Senior Manager for Business and Legal Affairs, went on record stating that DRM will continue to be used for the foreseeable future and that it is necessary for gaming. He said, "So long as we're concerned about things like piracy, account sharing, and hacking, we'll need some form of DRM." Where do I even start with this? DRM is supposed to prevent piracy. At least, that's what the goal is. But how often do we see a case where DRM inadvertently drives hackers to try harder to break the game? We saw this with SimCity. SimCity was always online as a DRM measure, no matter what EA tries to tell you. Modders were able to create an offline mode within 2 weeks of launch because they wanted to give EA the biggest middle finger for fucking up the game. All you do when you implement DRM is drive hackers to prove you wrong and demonstrate that no matter what anti-piracy measures you put into place, they're still gonna break it. Yeah, you may stop some of the hackers who aren't that skilled, but there'll always be those few. Piracy is very difficult to prevent, and DRM usually doesn't work because hackers are very persistent, and many of them only engage in this activity just to prove that they can do it. I don't support piracy. I buy all of my games because I want to support the industry and I don't want to break the fucking law. I understand piracy is a problem that developers and publishers face, and they should be able to attempt to prevent piracy. But when your anti-piracy measures impact our buying power as consumers, you've crossed the line. As a consumer, when you purchase a product, any product, it's yours, and you have the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want with that product. If I buy a physical disc, that disc belongs to me, and I should be able to access everything on that disc and play the game however I want so long as it's legal. It's not a fucking rental service, it's a physical product. With downloadable games, it makes sense to implement DRM because it's an easy file to duplicate and distribute, but with physical copies, DRM is anti-consumer. It's that simple, and I don't even engage in the used games market. I buy all my games new and many of them off Steam. That kind of DRM is acceptable because they're digital games. Physical games are a completely different story. Yes, this Adam Sullivan character did say that the key to DRM is that it can't interfere with the consumer's ability to play the game. But it always does, in one way or another. It's not enough to say it can't interfere with the gaming experience, but then implement a system that does affect my ability to enjoy your product and use it in any way I choose. If I want to play a game offline, that's my right. If I want to loan a game to a friend, that's my right. If I want to use your disc to wipe my ass, that's my right as a consumer. DRM doesn't stop a lot of hackers. They'll just try harder to crack your game. DRM only affects the people who are supporting your business by spending money on games, which pisses them off and causes some of them to avoid your game. So what did you achieve? You didn't stop the hackers and you angered the people who were potential customers. It's a lose-lose situation. The only person I've ever seen present some compelling arguments regarding DRM is Total Biscuit, who mentions that gaming is a completely unique landscape that can't be compared to other forms of entertainment like film or music due to the development of a video game and the impact game retailers have on used games. He's kinda right, but if a game cannot sustain itself from the initial sale of a title, the industry is flawed at its core, especially considering how expensive games are to purchase already. Yes, gaming is unique, but no other industry in the world restricts the consumer from using the product freely. We don't need games with ultra-realistic graphics if they're going to be so expensive to produce that DRM becomes the only viable option. You can make games on smaller budgets with weaker graphics, and that would be fine if it meant DRM became a distant memory. I like gaming, but DRM fucks it up for a lot of games. So I'm sorry, Square Enix, but I have to disagree.